Brian, can you see, like, I'm always worried about these things, like like my social security numbers, like randomly in the background. You know what I mean? I literally been like, what can people see?
Besides your birth certificate.
It's literally what I've been doing. I've been like, what can they see? What part of my life is exposed?
Exactly. No, I hear you. I think we're good.
Okay.
It's very brilliant. It looks very like chicy.
Okay. Okay.
Very like educated.
That's exactly what I'm trying to transmit. Okay,
Right.
perfect. Chicy and educated.
Chicy, educated.
Wow. That's me. So I was on a Zoom call, like with like the cast, and somebody asked me about my weird John Malkovich door, which I like don't even notice.
Yeah, it's like kind of the troll entrance.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? I'm a secret present hoarder. So I've got presents for my whole family wrapped for the next 2 years and birthdays, everything.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. Do you like pull them out and then send them via?
Yeah, like I have like one of my best friend's daughter's birthday is December 1st, and like I already have it ready, and I'm like, it's very weird to be like eager and send people's birthday presents like a month early, so I'm just like waiting.
You're like, come on.
Okay, what's something weird about you, Brian?
I have no door. I like blank walls apparently.
All right, good.
Minimalist, blank.
Yeah, you are Zen minimalist.
Like regular size closet doors. Apparently, I want to share nothing. Is
great.
My background. Besides just looking at my big mirror.
Oh, that's a mirror. I thought that was Morelli. That's so funny.
Oh, really? No, that's me.
Oh, okay.
I like, I like what my like over the shoulder looks like. It's my shoulder acting, right?
Sure. Totally understandable.
It's the bacting,
I was like, you and Morelli are very in sync. Whatever you do, she does. It's amazing.
You're a mirror image of each other. It's amazing.
You guys are such a great couple.
It's this amazing thing. I love it. I'm so lucky. I found my soulmate and my mirror mate.
So Brian, you are a super like health guru, right?
I try to be. I don't think my health guru
during COVID.
What's that?
How are you working out during COVID?
A lot of push-ups and sit-ups. You know what I did in LA? I got a Bowflex. Do you remember a Bowflex?
Yes, I do remember.
It's like it was like no, it's
the thing.
Yeah, it's like these bands, right? This is like a perfect example right here. It's like these bands that like sway down, and the further you get down, the more tension it has, and then it like pops back up, and then you could do all kinds of things. And it like came out in the 80s.
That like blonde, like jacked guy, like in the 90s.
He was like, I'm doing like Bowflex. Yeah, and he's like flexing on like every Bowflex churn, and you're like, wow, I need to get that. And everyone's like, what does that do?
And you did 20 years later.
20 years later, yeah. I'm
advertising, man.
Way behind on the game, but I used it, and it kept me in COVID shape. That's
great.
Yeah. So I've been Bowflexing.
I got a Peloton.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I've used it as a clothing hanger so far. People are like, what are you doing? I was like, I've got a Peloton. Please don't ask me how many times I've used it. No.
Yeah, it's Peloton scared me a little bit because the person coaching me, like, I'm I don't know. I don't like getting yelled at.
Oh, really? That's the only way I'll work out.
Okay, good.
No.
Good. You need someone there yelling at you.
That's why I've never been a runner, because when I start running, I'm like, I should stop.
You're like, I can't yell at myself. That would be weird.
Yeah, I've been doing, I've been taking private Pilates, which I haven't done for a long time, which I like. And then I plan to do the Peloton to have like a
good
thing.
I mean, you have it there.
It's
so
to me, I'm even like Tori, who's in my building, I've like offered it out. Like, I'm like, oh, you can use it anytime. I'm not using it. So I'm like trying to be generous. I'm like, anytime you need it.
So yes, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
The communal Peloton.
it should get some use.
Yes. It's very nice of you. It's super kind.
Thank you very much.
Really, really wonderful. That's awesome.
Are you cooking?
I'm cooking-ish. I'm cooking more. I'm cooking better. So my whole like lifestyle of sorts is like food is fuel.
Right.
So my cooking capacity is very limited into like efficiency.
Okay.
So I'm like, how soon can I get this to plate and in my stomach?
Wow.
I'll do that.
Wow.
So it's been pretty much the same food thing for the course of the isolation.
So I'm upstairs. I have like this little office area upstairs, and my house is down. My apartment sort of is downstairs, like the bedrooms. And I was like, "Ooh, I'm going upstairs. I should bring cookies with me. It's really far. Like I'm never within arm. Like if you, this morning, my nanny, she was like, "Is this cookie dead?" Because I like have like cookies everywhere. I was like, "No, it's there. Why would it be dead?"
Die?
No, because I leave them out. I'm like a mouse. There's always like
a trail of cookies to find your way back to the cookie chest.
Yeah, like if I was on Hoarders, that show, it would be like, and she hasn't been able to get rid of any cookies. Like
Gotcha.
They're everywhere on my
So
house.
really behind the door is a bunch of cookies, not presents, right? I mean, let's be real. It's probably a bunch of cookies.
No, it's like it's gifts, man. It's presents.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. You really can get like the depth.
A box of books, all gifts.
When you walk back there, the context just makes you look like a giant. It's so amazing. You are like 7 feet tall. It's
I
fantastic.
feel like the scale is kind of like
Yeah.
big, small, door.
That's great.
Thanks.
I need a small door. I need to get one of those.
It makes me feel powerful.
Make me look big.
Yeah.
Big. Man, look at me compared to this door. Massive.
I love it. All right, what do you want to ask me, Brian? Do you have any questions?
Oh, right. Yeah. So obviously you're recording from your house, and I was going to ask you because it's just top of mind, like working within the world of, Dick Wolf and One Chicago. Like, how does that feel for you?
Like, how does it feel for me, like during these times, or just like in general as an actor?
Why not both? Hey.
I mean, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends, I come from theater in New York, and a lot of everyone's unemployed, like, as an actor. So these are tough times, and I love my job. I've said it before. It feels always cheesy to be like, I'm friends with all my. It's just we have a great cast. We get along really well. It's really fun. I know you guys do too. Although some people were talking about you, Brian, I realized, and they said that you really are a leader on set. Like you're like everyone's big brother, making sure everyone's okay. And
that's nice to hear. I appreciate that. Is that me? I would say I wear that with a badge of honor.
Okay.
That they would look at me like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say maybe that comes with a little bit because I'm a little bit older than everybody. Maybe that's the big brother scenario. But I'm glad it's on like the positive side where I'm like a leader instead of just like beating down on them like the big brother, like my big brother did.
He is awesome and such a leader.
Amazing. So yeah, I appreciate that sincerely, and I obviously, like you were saying, it feels cheesy to say, but I think we all get along very, very well, and we're together a lot, and I think we all take on our own kind of personalities and I guess scenarios in that kind of synchronicity of family of sorts, and everyone takes on these particular roles, and I like to make sure that just on med, like the cast is good, right? Is there anything that I can help out with, whether it's with work, problems on and or off set, just to make sure everyone is good, especially now. I think I have the fortunate, and you do as well, to have family like in the other room.
Right.
right? And a lot of our cast members don't have that. So
Worried about everybody this winter, I have to say. Like,
yeah,
but I also worry. I mean, I don't know about you, but I there's an isolation I feel with having a young child too.
yeah,
That is hard. Like there is no down. Like my cast members come home and they can like have a glass of wine and relax, and that's not really my world right now with a toddler.
right.
Um.
It's the same
So
with me. Same
yeah.
with me. It's one of those scenarios where I guess for myself, because I was traveling back and forth to LA and back
Right.
last season almost every weekend. For me, it's like a sense of relief to not have to do that.
Do you
To
know
be
my mom did that growing up? So I was in New York and got
yeah,
a writer. She was a writer and she got a job in LA and she'd come home every weekend. And I
yeah.
didn't have a dad, so I was with my nanny most of the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that travel, that distance, and it when you do it a long time, it takes its toll.
Yeah.
To have them here is like, gosh, it's a blessing in this weird world in which we exist in. It's the my shining light, and I'm so grateful for that. But in contrast to the other cast members, I know that most of them are here alone,
Yeah.
and traveling back and forth to get to their loved ones is few and far between with
That's
what
also
we're
hard.
dealing
Yeah. A lot.
with.
Some people are doing long distance relationships and that's
Yeah, and that's hard. That's definitely hard. So, I took it upon myself, especially this season, to really reach out even more and really kind of check in if there's anything that I can do or help with.
like how do you do that in a way that doesn't feel sort of like superficial? Like that everybody sends those texts like, hey, let me know if you need anything, and nobody ever does. Like how do you make it that the real thing instead of the
I don't know. I think it comes within the given relationship, right? Because it's not like it's something new that I just started. I feel like my relationship with the cast has gone kind of in the course of time, where it wasn't just because of this scenario. Like I've always asked and I've always checked in and I've always, you know, asked them how they feel about certain things, and then me going up and really having these discussions with them and or for them, um, to build that particular relationship. So now, especially during the pandemic and stuff, when I do check in, I feel like it's organic.
right.
I don't think it's anything that feels superficial. And I mean, you've been with your crew for a really long time, and I don't think anything that you guys pass back and forth feels superficial. I think we all seem to know one another so well that it all comes from a place of heart and of love.
Yeah.
So
This is like, it's almost like family. Like I hang out with my cast so much that at the end of the day, we're like, we used to go to dinners together and we'll still hang out, but we like hang out all day. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like hard to like go leave set and be like, you want to hang out more? Like we're literally together like 12 hours a day.
totally. I mean, you are. I mean, with your cast for a lot of the time more than with your actual like extended family
Oh yeah.
by far.
Oh yeah.
And, I have a brother back in LA that I talk to every so often, but it's that relationship, right? It's that like, hey, we haven't talked in a while. And in that like whatever 20-minute, 30-minute conversation, like we're caught up. Okay, let's go. Deuces. And that's it though. But that love is still there. And even I feel for us as a cast and us as a group, like we'll go off into our own worlds, come back on set, and it'll be the same. The feelings will still be the same.
Yeah.
We'll go off on hiatus, come back next season, and it's like day one, right back to where we were.
Totally.
Yeah. So that's comforting in every aspect for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, I'm worried. I'm worried about this winter. I'm worried about like the coldness, the darkness, the hour. It's going to be hard with.
It will be hard. I feel like a lot of people won't be traveling, and I'm trying to actually literally think in my head, okay, with the circumstances at hand, with the rule, wait for it,
Okay.
rules
Yep.
were about
That was the word?
that was the word.
Eight
I was
syllables.
thinking world
Like,
for
don't take a heat
some
on or
reason,
something.
rules wouldn't come out. I
Okay,
don't know.
cool.
How is it feasible to somehow be together during the holidays? Because I feel like that will be the hardest. And I know some people may be traveling and kind of created their own kind of world, but I feel like for those that don't, I want to try to extend some kind of gathering of sorts or something or another.
Yeah, for those people who don't know, we get tested every day. So the one thing that I wasn't doing over hiatus was seeing people indoors. But now that like we're all tested every day, I kind of feel like safe going to like see Nick. These people in
Right.
my building. I feel safe seeing you too.
Right. No, totally.
Yeah, you're just not in my building, so it's not as easy.
Right.
But yeah, so we should have a play date, by the way.
We totally should have a play date. That'd be good.
Because we're all tested every day, yeah. So I feel like comfortable doing that. Yeah, we should do like a cast giving or something.
I think so. I mean, I do that in LA a lot. We have this kind of, as far as artists are concerned, most people are away from their family anyway, if they're like, whether in New York or LA or even here in Chicago. And during the holidays, they might not make it back to their extended relatives and stuff. So like every year we always have like the Friendsgiving of sorts, or like the Friends Christmas, like whoever's here, come over for leftovers.
Totally.
And this year, because of the situation and because we won't be traveling back home to LA, it'll just be me and my family here. So maybe we can think about doing something like that for the ones that are here. You know.
I hired somebody to drive my mom from New York to here because she's.
You did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm not gonna let her be alone. Are you kidding?
That's fantastic.
And she told me she's gonna wear a mask in the house all the time, and I was like, good luck. I was like, if you can do it, great. Good on you. There was a question that they had asked us that I was like, I wanted to make sure I asked you because I was really interested. Hold on.
Okay.
Because we don't talk about this anymore. Booking your show and or first time on set. I want to hear your story.
Mine's a really interesting story. So I guess if it might be interesting. I don't know. It's interesting to me. I should have just put it out there because it's going to be like, that's it. Right?
I'll give you a number 1 to 10 of how I
that. No. So I did a pilot for NBC called Love is a Four-Letter Word. And I was cast in that pilot and it shot in Chicago, oddly. And we did about a month of shooting and, it was in May and, the pickups were announced. And in May, I shot the pilot in Chicago in March. And then in May, I was in New York shooting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And oddly, Colin, our dear friend Colin, was on Love is a Four-Letter Word. So we ran into each other in New York because he lives in New York randomly. And we're like, oh my gosh, like we got to get together and all this other stuff. So the day that it was announced that our show, Love is a Four-Letter Word, didn't get picked up, like Colin and I, both our wives, were basically just like drinking ourselves to sorrow yet happiness.
It's that circle, the sorrow happiness circle.
Sorrow, happiness, drinking of beer, but yet it's okay.
Sorrow,
circle. Yeah, circle. So as I was shooting the end of Turtles, the very last day I get a phone call and they're like, do you want to go back to Chicago? And I thought Love is a Four-Letter Word would somehow like miraculously got picked back up or something or another. And I was like, yeah, I'll go back to Chicago. Like, how'd that happen? What happened? And they're like, no, Dick Wolf is doing a spinoff of their other 2 shows and they want you to be a doctor on Chicago Med.
Wait, they said they want you to be a doctor?
Yes. Why?
That sounds like an offer.
It was, yes. I was super blessed and it had, I give credit to Diana's son, who was
what was your audition story? I didn't ask you.
This is it. I auditioned for the pilot of another NBC show.
As a working actor that had to audition for this role, I give this story a 0.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't audition.
I was like, what was that phone call? Did you not know you could audition? Wait, what's happening?
I was literally, and no joke, it was in New York City. I was in my shredder outfit, like 60 pounds, and I was like all hot and sweaty because it was in the summer. And I was like, what? And he was like, do you want to go back to Chicago? And I was like, why? And he goes, well, a show and then Chicago met Dick Wolf.
Tell
And I
me
was
your
like,
offer story again. It's rude the first time. It's
no,
rude.
I mean, I was just telling you like the details of it in hopes that it might come off a little better.
Oh, your shredder costume because you were employed was so. I was at my day job when I found out my audition went well.
I only say this because that rarely happens.
You know what?
Right?
I will say I got one offer once in my life.
Yes.
Because my mom told me I'm not allowed to tell my PD story because I've told it too many times in the media. So I'm not going to tell it. I don't know. She also tells me I need to post more cats on Instagram because people love cats. Whatever.
Well, that's true. But.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's how I get a huge following. Okay. So I'm going to tell you my story. My story is, I was offered a 3-episode arc on Chicago Fire. I had never been offered a role in my entire life. And I was like, oh, okay, yes. So I got offered it on Thursday. We came back to them with like contract negotiations on a Friday. And by Monday, I no longer had the job.
What? How? What happened?
No, I have no idea. I was like, all I know is like all of Tuesday, I was in the sorrow part of the circle, just sobbing.
Right.
I was like, I was so close. What happened? But I realize now, I'm not a really big like universe fate person, but had I booked that role, I never would have been Kim Burgess. And that's kind of just like this cool, amazing thing that like, it's really hard when you're in the depths of despair to hear when one door closes, a window opens, but like.
100%, 100%. And I feel like that has happened a lot. And of course, hindsight is 2020 and you can look back and say, that's why I didn't get that, or that's why I didn't do this. But I share my story in hopes that for the ones watching, that you never know what the next job and or even the audition can get you.
I guess right? Our stories sort of come
full circle, 100%.
The smoldering of our career.
No, it really is the truth, because I'm sure you got offered Fire, right, for something that you did in the past that they absolutely loved, that you had no idea why. And even if that didn't go down, there's a reason why it came back into the PD world for obvious reasons. And I feel like, getting the other pilot with love and then just being noticed by NBC and then them thinking, oh, well, maybe he would be good for this. It's all kind of full circle. And it's like, always try to put down your best work, because you never.
That is so true. I remember that there was a full year at NBC where I wasn't getting work, but I was getting every audition. And I was like, what is happening? And it turned out that someone really liked me. They just didn't have the right role. And I was like, really important. Even if you keep failing, you got to show up with your best work all the time.
100%. 100%. I can't tell you how many times I've been able to kind of backtrack, hindsight 2020, things that I've gotten now, and said, oh my gosh, I met this person at that audition and I didn't get that one and I was devastated for it, but yet it somehow full circled around to the position I'm in now. It's happened more times than I can even.
Yeah. Although since 2020 is such a great year, I don't know that hindsight 2020 works anymore. It's like, it was a terrible hindsight.
That's true. It totally doesn't work anymore.
Like, hindsight was 1999 is what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Is there another phrase for
hindsight being 2020?
Like 2020 is obviously like in reference to seeing well.
Yeah.
Hindsight is seeing well. It doesn't ring. Hindsight is really good eyes.
Yeah. That'll be like our inside joke.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm going to ask you one more question.
Okay, great.
Because I like hearing audition stories. I want to hear about like a crazy audition story before booking your Wolf show.
Crazy auditions. Well, this was right before my Wolf show.
Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you after I share the show.
As an actor at the time.
No, I can hear you as I share the show, but I think it's interesting so I did Love is a 4-letter word.
Okay.
Right before I was getting on the plane to Chicago, I get a last minute call. And I have my bags packed, about to get on the plane. They're like, you need to shoot over to Santa Monica and put down this audition. And I was like, I'm leaving in 6 hours, guys. Like this, we can't do this. And they're like, no, we really want you. They asked you for specifically and all this other stuff.
What?
They asked you specifically.
Oh, that's a thing people do? Okay. All right. Just one.
For this role.
Cool,
But again, going down within my career, it was like Asian bad guy role. And I was like, guys, come on. Like, I got this really incredible opportunity that I'm about to get on a plane for. And I'm trying to break these particular stereotypes in that sense too. Can we not, really extend ourselves in this? And they're like, I think you really should go. So I was like, fine, whatever. So I walked in the audition. I had the sides kind of and they were like these dummy sides that we all kind of get. But then I realized it was for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. But I had no idea which role I was
auditioning. So everybody knows, dummy sides are like when they don't want to release like the real words, or they don't want to tell you what the real story is because they're keeping it secret. Like Apple commercials, if you audition for an Apple commercial, it's never the Apple sides because they don't want to like reveal any trade secrets. It's just basically like, hey, I'm Marina. I love this new like mask, that kind of thing. And if they like your personality, they cast you. Kind of.
Yes. And they didn't even tell me which role it was. So it was like these sides for like bad guy. And it could have been like anything.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it and commit, because that kind of full circle thing, I always want to give kind of my best, because you never know. So I did it, walked away.
Got on a plane
and like just forgot about it. A month later, after shooting Love is a Four-Letter Word, I literally get a call and they're like, you need to go back to Santa Monica, right? They want to meet you. And I'm like, who is they? What is it for? And they're like, well, it's Turtles, it's Michael Bay, it's Andrew and Brad, the producers of the franchise. And I was like, great. So I get off the plane, drive to their production company, and I'm sitting down and I still don't know what role it's for. I still have no idea.
You're like, Raphael.
Yeah, if I'm reading again, I was like, am I Splinter? Am I the Rat? What am I? So he was basically talking to me and then brought this like lookbook out, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, that's great. All this other stuff. And he started flipping to the pages and he's like, we see this role like this. And it's a picture of like Shredder and the mask. And it's iconic because I grew up like as a Turtles fan. Like I remember in 7th grade when the first movie came out, like I was cheering in the audience. And I was like, poker face. Oh yeah, sure. Okay. All this other stuff.
They've always seen it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah. That's interesting. Flipping through more of this stuff and like my heart's pounding and everything's going crazy, but I'm trying to like keep it cool.
I can like, for you. Yeah.
And he's like, and it'd be great for you to play him. And then I'm like, and then I literally had to pause and I'm like looking around if I'm going to be like somewhat like, like punked or something like that. And I go, are you serious? And he goes, yeah. And I go, okay, sure. Could we hug it out? Like, could we hug it out? Like, it was the most surreal thing. Totally. Because when I was growing up, Turtles for me was a big, big thing. And to play Shredder was this kind of iconic idea that I knew would never exist into my universe, yet in my world. And all of a sudden being surprised by that was something truly special, where I walked out numb.
What a cool moment.
It was one of the coolest. I walked out numb. Morelli, my wife, came and picked me up because she picked me up from the airport and was still like circling, right? Literally circling. And she goes, are you okay? And I go, yeah, I'm good. And she goes, what happened? I go, I think I'm Shredder. Wait, no, I'm Shredder. And she's like, wow. It was surreal. Cool. It was really, really cool. So that was one of the really bright spots as far as the whole auditioning process was concerned and all that other stuff. So that's one of the auditions that I like sharing and enjoying.
That's a great one. That's so cool.
It's cool. How about you? Can I ask the same question?
Yeah. I will say I had one movie like that, and I was like, my manager was like, they want to talk to you, and I had the opposite reaction. I was like, well, I've got it. Unlike you, I went in being like, where do I sign? Because and they were like, we'd like you to do it this way instead, for your audition. Okay, so I was working I was doing a lot of theater in New York, and I think it was the Public Theater was putting on a play by a very famous playwright. And they said I'm not even going to say the name of the play or the playwright in case this person ever wants to cast me again. We're putting on a 2-person play, and the other guy was really famous, and the playwright has handpicked like 6 women that he'd like to like come in for this role. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. So I read the play, and it's one man, and I'm like, where's the lady? And I keep looking, I can't find a lady. Like, because I was skimming, I was just like, where's the
sure.
So finally I went like control find woman, and it says, let me show, I'm just gonna give it to you. Naked woman rises from hole, walks to man, takes off man's hat, goes back to hole, and descends.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, no.
Right. I mean, no. Maybe pass. Not.
Like, imagine if like there's 6 women and you're one of them, and I was like, this is it.
I know.
This is it. Moments in an actor's career that aren't it.
Right. I know. I know. Oh God.
Reading. Women like rises from pit. I was like,
yeah, I know.
I know.
Not good. Well, I glad you passed.
I mean, if they'd offered
better things,
yeah,
might have been amazing for whoever got that role, just not right for you.
God bless them. Yeah, just not for me.
It's not for you. That's all. Just not for you.
Well, it's been awesome talking. I've got to go pick up a child now from school.
Go pick up a child. Get out of here. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I like talking to you. That was fun. I want to hear actually more audition stories. We don't talk about that anymore now that we've been employed. It's like
we don't ever kind of go back in the past, but I think now we can. We're like seasoned and in the groove and like season 8, season 6. So we're like, let's talk about old times.
Remember season 1? I was funny in season 1. It was like, have you ever seen season 1 Chicago PD? I was like a kooky little character.
Were you really?
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
And now you're like, so can I give you props? Like, can I give shout out to a props?
I ever like a person that doesn't like props?
Season 7, episode 13. I Was Here, I think was the name of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
The most visceral, incredible acting experience watching you do that role for myself.
Thank you.
Was amazing. It was just phenomenal work, Marina. And I truly mean that. I mean, I was literally, and because I know you, maybe I got a little more into it, but I literally viscerally felt just so angry, right? But like in such a connective way through your performance that I was just devastated watching it. And that's truly because of your performance and your talent. So well done.
Oh my gosh, you are like a big brother. I'm really humbled by that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was beautiful. It really was.
So, thank you.
On that note, go pick up
my baby.
Beautiful. And I will talk to you and see you soon.
Yeah.
Awesome. Bye.